foot we're going to be featured tonight is this one. It is called the Leather Quilting Roller Foot. That's a mouthful. This is what it looks like. And as you can see up there, I'm going to type in this item number, BLSO-LRF. Leather Quilting Roller Foot. But guess what? You don't have to use this foot on leather. You can quilt with it. And that's what I'm going to show you tonight. This will work on the Altair, the Solaris, the Crescendo, the Chorus, any machine like that. And as you know, all of our Baby Lock machines are grouped for feet. See there where it says groups? Well, we are Group B for the Altair and the Solaris, just so you know that. You use this with the feed dogs up. This is not free motion, but with this little wheel, you'll actually see you can use with straight stitches or even decorative stitches, and you can turn really tight circles with it. It is so cool. You're going to love this. It'll work on the Destiny as well, the Elissimo. Yes, it'll work on all of those machines. And then it'll also work on some of the other machines too. It is a low shank foot, so you do have to put on your shank adapter, which comes with your machine. It's that little thing that you have to put on a walking foot as well for our machines. So anytime you have a low shank foot with a high shank machine, Solaris, Destiny, Altair, all of those machines, Chorus, Crescendo, those are all high shank machines. You do have to put on that shank adapter to use any of those low shank foot. Many low shank feet come with your machine as well. So I'm going to swap the camera and you'll see what I'm talking about here, but check this out. That roller foot's a little bit bigger than a quarter, so it's not super big. One thing to remember with this though, you cannot use your automatic needle threader with it. It sticks up to, it will not work. So you'll have to manually thread your needle when you use this foot, okay? I'm going to start off with it in just a straight stitch. I'm in the quilting, the Q menu. So any straight stitch will work. And I have this little sample here that I've done other stitching on. You can see some Sashiko stitches right up there. Check that out. Isn't that cool? Looks just like I did it by hand, but guess what? I didn't. That's on the Sashiko machine. When I put this under here, though, you'll be able to see this wheel, and it turns freely. Right now I have the presser foot up, and as you can see over here, I have that shank adapter on, right there. So I had to take off the snap-on presser foot shank that comes with our machines. This little dude right here. You have to remove that, put on the shank adapter, and then you apply the foot, attach the foot to the shank adapter. Set that down. And what's really cool about this though, at least I think it is, I hope you will, I'm going to bring up my bobbin thread, and how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to hit my needle down and then needle up. When I pull on it, it pulls up that bobbin thread, and that way I can hold on to it when I get started and I won't get any nasty thread nests. Let's see here. I'm just going to get started and take a few straight stitches. Okay, that's secure. So what I have it set on a stitch length of 3, but I'm going to drop it down to 2 millimeters. You can see right over there. Have all just regular default settings on that stitch. Okay. And what you do is, as it's stitching, you can move it, you can rotate it, because this wheel only touches the left feed dog, okay? So just check it out. We're going to get started. But check that out. It's almost like free motion quilting without having to worry about matching your foot speed or anything, because will still, look how tight I can turn that. Pretty cool, right? And I'm going to cut the thread. And as you can see there, check out those circles I just quilted. Actually, that's a quilt sandwich. Looks equally as good on the back. But now let's try a decorative stitch. Okay, we're going to put in, let's see, we're going to put in a feathering stitch. Okay, and I still have it set on its default settings, which is 5mm width, 2.5mm length, and I'd never touch the tension. So now I'm not going to pull up the bobbin thread on this time. I'm just going to get it started. And now I can do the same thing. I can rotate it while it is zigzagging. Check it out. You won't do that with a regular presser foot, I guarantee you that. So yes, you could actually zigzag, not zigzag, you could actually quilt and or embellish, whatever you want to call it, with the decorative stitches on your machine. Pretty cool, right? When I get down here, I'm just going to turn it all the way around. If you move it too fast, it'll just kind of bunch up, but that could be a decorative element. We're going to turn it around here, and we're going to select a different stitch. I'm going to do just a regular zigzag stitch. Let's select Q07, and I'm going to leave everything at its default. It's at 3.5mm in width. Let's see what that looks like. You could use any thread in your top thread. This time I'm going to put that width up to 7 though. I'm going to max it out. There we go. Now we're at 7mm width. That's the only thing I changed. We're at 1.6mm in length. And I could totally change that. I'm going to pump that up to let's go up to 3. Just all kinds of really cool, fun, decorative effects you can get with this roller foot. Okay, now we'll just cut that thread. I'm going to bring that up to closer to the camera. Pretty cool. Let's do another stitch. Let's see here. We'll lower the presser foot. Let's do, I like this stitch. This is a fun one, Q28. You see what that looks like there, Q28. And I'm going to leave it at its default settings. And I'm going to change the length of it. It's at 2mm. I'm going to put that up to 4. I'm going to double it. See what happens. There we go. I really like this stitch. This is a fun one to play with. You can use one finger to turn with. Isn't that cool? I'm just going to flip it around. We'll select another stitch this time. Something a little bit different. Excuse me. I want to play with, where's she here? Let's go to number 1 menu and get out of the Q menu. Let's try number 2. Oh, this could be interesting. 207. There's like these little scallops. Let's see what we can do with that. And it's at 7 millimeters wide, 1.4 long. I'm going to leave it where it's at until we see what that looks like. And that's cool, but I want it to have a much longer length. I'm going to double it to 3. We're now at 3 millimeters. There we go. On this one, if you time it just right, totally something you'd want to play with before you actually put it on a piece you're actually working on. But it's fun to play with. But you can get all kinds of cool little thready techniques done with this. Okay. Now we'll take this out and have a look at it. Okay. But as you can see, tons of stuff to play with. Right now it kind of looks like a very avant-garde Picasso painting. Yeah, I did say that. You heard me. But yeah, so there's a lot of fun, and on the back, it makes an equally beautiful design on the back of it as well. Right here you can see all of this right here. There's that stitch I told you I like so much. Oops. There's the back of it right there. And right here's the front of it though. Look at that. Love this stitch. One of my favorites to play with. There we go. That's the foot we just did. The leather quilting roller foot. And the reason it's called leather because you can stitch on leather with this foot and it won't get caught. Think leather, think vinyl. You know how some feet, it'll cause that leather or vinyl to stick to the bottom of the presser foot. Will not happen with this one. Another great thing about using this foot is you get a complete view of where your needle is entering the fabric. Let me go. Now you can see how that works. Right here is, oops, ouch, that's the needle. But yeah, that's how awesome it is. And you can just, it's almost like it's free motion, but it's not because it still uses the feed dogs. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so you can get one of those from your local Baby Lock retailer. I encourage you to get one and play with it. It is a lot of fun. And think of it this way, with that roller foot, maybe if you're trying to manipulate a quilt sandwich with really thick batting through your domestic machine, that roller foot would really help with that because it'll help compress all of those layers down as it's doing that.